agrees to partially fund SNAP. What this really means for local families already lining up at food banks. And a robbery, this one is interesting, in Minneapolis caught on camera, the camera of a music video to be exact. So Rob Olson is tracking this story. He'll join us in just a moment. And injury updates for both the Vikings and the Timberwolves. We are talking with Pierre Nugent about the impact on these teams. Plus, as deer season gets underway, a certain group of dogs is pretty busy. So they are the ones that are actually tracking the wounded animals. So we are talking with Minnesota tracking dogs a little later in this hour. So all of that should be pretty interesting.
It'll be a busy couple weekends coming up with the deer openers. So let's talk about the weather, though, with Chief Meteorologist Ian Leonard with your weather on the 9s. We really enjoyed that sunshine. It's fading quickly into the night sky right now, but it was nice.
I have to get used to this. I know. But I'm trying to just like put whatever I need to say in your complaint box, and I will just leave it at that. I won't even mention it.
Oh, you're the one who's been writing those nasty notes in the complaint box. A lot of paper over there. Yeah, we're getting them. Trust me, we're getting them. Today was one of those wild days, right? It's November, brilliant sunshine. Step outside, and the wind hits you. But the wind wasn't awful. It was a neutral wind today out of the west, albeit very strong, gusting 40. But look at your high temperature, 57, well above average. Yeah, the big number on the board, though, sunset at 4:58 and at 4:57 as we head into the day tomorrow. Anyway you look at it, the sun is down, and there it is, White Bear Lake in the background. 54 degrees right now with that wind still gusting out of the west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. That's a big part of the forecast. We will be windy and warmer. Tomorrow temperatures 10 to 15 degrees above average. But it's November, you know it can't last. The cooler air arrives Friday and dominates deer opener weekend. Rainy and chilly Saturday, then just plain chilly Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, well, this means wrap it up, and we'll talk about that here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we need some time to process.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Ian. Well, breaking this afternoon, Lyndon Wiggins has been found guilty of first-degree murder. This was his second trial in the death of Monique Baugh after his first conviction was overturned. The victim's family reacting to this verdict.
It was a sense of relief. It was a sense of relief. It was just, I feel like, yes, we are getting justice. I mean, justice really would be to be able to have Monique back, but of course that's not something that we can have. But yeah, it's very happy.
Wiggins was the mastermind in the 2019 kidnapping and killing of real estate agent Monique Baugh in a plot to kill her boyfriend. His conviction was later tossed out on a technicality. Closing arguments were delivered on Friday. The jury started deliberating afterwards.
Well, SNAP funding ended Saturday, but it'll be back soon after a court ruling against the Trump administration. For now, though, there is a gap. So Fox 9's Corin Hoggard is live tonight at a Minnetonka food shelf. Of course, Corin, so many people were worried about this. Those charities around the state are now starting on two important dates on the calendar. Where are we talking about here?
Yes, Simone, the first one is Wednesday because that's now the deadline for the USDA to issue SNAP benefits for this month. But those are going to be partial. The Trump administration chose to only dip into the SNAP-specific contingency funds, and so it will not be a complete payment. It's just a partial one, about 5/8 of a month or something like that. That's kind of bad news for folks who are looking at the calendar, because at some point during the month, those benefits are going to dry up again. I also talked to children, youth, and families here in Minnesota. There's going to be some processing delays, so maybe another date on the calendar as well. They say, you know, the government gets it out as fast as they can from the feds, then they process it as quickly as possible, but it won't be immediately on Wednesday in people's EBT cards. So to prepare for that, Second Harvest Heartland has already shipped out 31 pallets of emergency food boxes. They've also ordered 50 truckloads of extra food for the month of November, but you know, the food shelves like this one here are saying any kind of delay is kind of a big deal.
We know that we'll need more food and resources, that we'll have more people walking through our door needing our services. And we also are at this moment where we don't really know how long the government shutdown is going to last, how some of these changes are going to be impacting the people that we serve.
Yeah, Corin, it's definitely about the uncertainty at this point, of course, for all of us. So the USDA will use a $5 billion SNAP contingency, we know, part of this fund to keep the grocery assistance coming. But as you mentioned, that money will run out before the end of this month. So then the question is, what happens after that?
Yeah, that's to be determined, Simone. There is another larger contingency fund within the USDA, and one of the judges who ordered them to continue making SNAP payments said they could just choose to use that and make full November payments. They chose not to do that, at least for now. And so that means, you know, Thanksgiving for 42 million Americans, 440,000 Minnesotans may actually depend on whether the government shutdown gets resolved. President Trump, of course, blaming Democrats for the shutdown. They want to resolve healthcare cost issue, try to drive those down. And Republicans, at least some of them, have agreed to work on that, but they don't want to do it until the shutdown is over. So if it doesn't end and the SNAP benefits run out, Thanksgiving may actually be determined by another court decision. It may have to go back there and fight to get those other contingency funds released.
A story we will, of course, continue to follow every step of the way. Thanks, Corin.
And Election Day is tomorrow, but things are already heating up in next year's big race in Minnesota as new candidates announce, and one in particular announces that she is running for governor, Republican Lisa Demuth.
Never bow to the radical mob, and I'll never apologize for standing up for common sense. My mom taught me something simple. You can complain, or you can do something. And I've never been one to sit on the sidelines.
Well, she was elected House Speaker last session while Democrats boycotted the start of the legislative session. And despite a power-sharing agreement, she presided over contentious sessions with a legislative body that was evenly split. Lisa Demuth, the third high-profile Republican to challenge Walz now. Other GOP candidates include fellow Representative Kristen Robbins and physician Scott Jensen. They are looking for a rematch there after losing to Walz in 2022. According to Ballotpedia, 5 others have also filed to run, setting the stage for a busy Republican primary. And while there are no statewide races in Minnesota this year, there are some closely watched contests that are in the municipal races. They include the Minneapolis and St. Paul mayoral races, along with 2 Minnesota Senate special elections. We will have election coverage starting at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Former Minneapolis police officer Tu Tao is now under supervision with Anoka County Community Corrections. He is set to be released from prison today. Tao was convicted of aiding and abetting manslaughter for his involvement in the murder of George Floyd. Tao argued he only did crowd control, while former officer Derek Chauvin knelt on Floyd's neck back in 2020. However, prosecutors argued Tao should have intervened. He was sentenced to nearly 5 years in prison back in 2022. Police in Minneapolis are investigating a deadly shooting at a birthday party. A teenager was killed, and another teen is now in custody. Officers responded to the 2900 block of Russell Avenue North around 10:45 Sunday night. They found a teen shot in the basement who was pronounced dead at the scene. Initial reports suggested a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but police later learned another teenager may have fired the shot.
A man now charged with aggravated robbery in Minneapolis picked the wrong targets. Minneapolis police say that the victims were in the middle of shooting a music video and all the cameras were rolling. Fox 9's Rob Olson joining us live now to talk about this. So Rob, the whole incident was captured as cameras caught everything. So give us a little bit of a background on this one.
Yeah, well, you know, police say they got the call from a couple of men shooting a music video. It wasn't specified what kind of video, whether it was for, social media or YouTube, that sort of thing. But it was back in October, about this time of day, a little bit lighter, obviously, than it was now on a Saturday afternoon. Let's show you the video here of where this occurred. It was just off Nicollet Avenue South and 19th Avenue, so that's just on the south side of I-94 across from downtown Minneapolis. And the 2 men say that as they were shooting this video, the suspect came up with a handgun and demanded a watch and some jewelry, and they had $1,100 in cash. Whether those were props for the music video or not was not said, but the cameras kept rolling that they were using, and police said they got a very good description of what the man looked like, exactly what he was wearing, and a backpack he had on him, as well as the gun that was used in that robbery. And then it was just hours later when a different set of cameras, city surveillance cameras, saw this suspect in the same area, and police then were able to apprehend him, arrest him, and now he's been charged.
This is quite a story, and when police made that arrest, they did find some of the stolen items, plus a handgun that the suspect apparently wasn't legally allowed to carry. Is that right?
Yeah, and he's been charged with 2 felonies now, aggravated robbery, with a gun, and the other one is possession of ammunition and a firearm for somebody who is not legally allowed to do so because of a previous felony. Let's show you a picture here of when the arrest was made, and again, police posting this on their social media platforms, and that this was, again, after a short foot chase where they captured this suspect. He ran when they first approached him. They did find some of the jewelry and some of the cash, and they found a Glock handgun with an extended magazine. They shared a picture of that with us as well as part of the evidence. But again, cameras are everywhere these days, and everyone's got one in their pocket. In this case, cameras were already rolling when this crime occurred, and so police were able to locate a suspect fairly readily. Back to you.
I'm curious to see what this music video looks like when they wrap up and get it all edited. All right, thanks, Rob Olson, live in Minneapolis tonight. All right, time for our weather on the 9s again. It's so dark behind Rob. It's like, oh man, what a difference that makes.
I think it really soaks in today, of course, as people head back to work, and then it might still be dark outside as they are about to leave work. So it just, I don't know. I know it's just a part of
It's part of life,
gonna happen.
But I feel like we should all be getting ready to go to bed. It feels like it's 9 o'clock at night.
I know, it throws you off.
Good idea. Good night, everybody.
It feels good, though. Today was a nice temperature day.
Yeah, you know what's, if there is a saving grace, and I'm not sure everybody at home knows this, we don't have any windows here in the studio. I mean, right now, it could be
Right, it could be 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
And I've said for years, we should have a sunroof that just opens, like in a car. You just click a button, the sunroof opens. Wouldn't that be great?
They do that in stadiums. We should do that here.
Good luck.
I'm going to bring a saw tomorrow. Can't be that hard.
Lights will be falling everywhere.
Windy and warmer the next few days, warmer than we were today, but that wind is a big part of the forecast before much cooler air arrives Friday, and we talk about rain and a cold rain Saturday, even into the day on Sunday. Today, a neutral wind right out of the west, but high pressure chasing low pressure. That's a decent gradient, so the wind machine stays up. But with a neutral wind, a west wind, it's not that cold air right out of the north. Instead, the sunshine did exactly what it's supposed to do at this time of year. It warms the ground, which in turn warms the air above, and we walk around going, hey, November isn't so bad for now. I'm not sure you're really gonna like the weekend, so I'm gonna phone it in. I'm gonna go in my car and I'll call in the forecast so you can't get mad at me.
Yeah, get yourself to a safe spot.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Let's see you in about 10 minutes.
Thanks, Ian. Well, a Minnesota couple is now searching for 2 special items from their wedding day. We'll hear from them about how this is impacting their newlywed life.
Plus, injury updates on Aaron Jones and Anthony Edwards. Our Pierre Nugent has the latest on that, and Minnesota United's playoff game tonight. We'll be right back.